The land down under has never been easier to reach. United Airlines has more flights between the U.S. and Australia than any other U.S. airline, so you can fly nonstop to destinations like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Explore dazzling cities, savor the very best of Aussie cuisine, and get up close and personal with the wildlife. Who doesn't want to hold a koala? Go to united.com/Australia to book your adventure.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Spotify.
It's another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, and I'm Dr. Neil Malik. Hey there, happy Friday, and welcome to another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, where I answer your health questions related to fitness, diet and nutrition, and more. You send in the questions, and I answer them for you. And if you do send one in, and you're in the U.S., we'll mail you a copy of our hardcover workbook. If you're outside of the U.S., we'll email you a PDF version. What's the easiest way to send in a question, you ask? Just email it to health@oldpodcast.com. All right, with that, let's get to today's question as we optimize your life. Today's question came via email. Tammy writes, I have high cholesterol. It's over 200. I'm not on medication, and I'm wondering if MCT oil raises cholesterol. A while ago, I was drinking coffee with coconut milk, and my number increased, and I'm wondering if MCT has that effect. Thank you for taking the time to send in your question, Tammy. Let's start with what MCTs are. MCT is an acronym for medium chain triglycerides. That's a mouthful, I know, so let's make sense of this. The word triglyceride or triglycerides is a fancy way of saying fat. So, medium chain triglycerides are a type of fat. The medium chain part refers to the chemical properties of the fat specifically. So if we were to look at medium chain triglycerides or medium chain fats under a microscope, we'd find that they are smaller than their cousins, long chain triglycerides or long chain fats. A lot of the fats we consume each day are actually long chain triglycerides, not so much medium chain triglycerides or MCTs. So examples of long-chain triglycerides would be your omega-3 fats, like the fats found in fish, the ones we say are healthy, and they certainly are. These long-chain triglycerides, like omega-3 fats, take some time for the body to break down. This is again because they're such large compounds. Medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs, because they're smaller, don't take as long to get absorbed by the body. They tend to enter the bloodstream pretty quickly. That means they may be more readily available to use as fuel for the body or as energy. Okay, so now we know where long-chain triglycerides come from. Omega-3s are just an example, and we consume mostly long-chain triglycerides in our diets. Where do medium-chain triglycerides or MCTs come from? They're actually created by processing certain oils, specifically palm oil or coconut oil. So, when we buy MCT oil as a supplement, we're usually buying processed palm oil or coconut oil. So, do these MCTs have any effect on our health? And to your question, Tammy, does consuming them increase our blood cholesterol levels? There are published meta-analyses that ask this very question. Remember, a meta-analysis is basically a type of large study. Researchers conducting a meta-analysis carefully review the results of already published studies, but only those studies that looked at the very same topic. This is what makes meta-analysis such a great resource. Anywho, here's what one meta-analysis found. Consuming MCT oils as a supplement does not seem to raise our blood cholesterol levels. Now, what about regular, unprocessed coconut or unprocessed palm oil? Remember, I said that MCTs are a form of processed coconut or palm oil. If we were to instead buy a jar of unprocessed coconut oil or unprocessed palm oil from the grocery store, This would be very different. Now we're talking about oils that, again, have not been processed. That means they are still long-chain triglycerides, not medium-chain triglycerides or MCTs. In fact, they're specifically a long-chain saturated fat. Saturated fat, like coconut and palm oil, do tend to increase blood cholesterol levels. Specifically, they tend to increase the bad type of cholesterol, or LDL cholesterol, in our bloodstream. So, back to your question, Tammy. Could the coconut milk you're consuming increase your blood cholesterol levels? Yes. Why? This is because you're not consuming a medium-chain triglyceride. You're actually consuming the full, long-chain triglyceride saturated fat. If you want to add a medium-chain triglyceride to your coffee, you have to buy an MCT oil supplement specifically. Again, it's likely these MCT oil supplements will be made from coconut oil, but now it's a processed version that the body treats differently. And if you choose to buy an MCT oil supplement, as with any supplement, we have to be careful about buying one that meets quality and purity standards. So look for some type of seal on the packaging that mentions that the product was tested for quality and purity by an independent third party. Examples of these independent third-party seals would be NSF, USP, LabDoor, or Consumer Lab. And of course, let your doctor know that you plan on adding MCT oil to your cup of coffee, just so they're aware, if you haven't already.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
How do you feel great on vacation? Like really good? Easy. You go to Aruba. You'll spend your time relaxing on cool white sand beaches and floating in healing blue water. You'll immerse yourself in natural wonder and find your center on an island where things move at your speed. You won't just feel great, you'll feel relaxed, renewed, and ready for life. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your trip at aruba.com.
And thank you again for taking the time to send in your question, Tammy. Now, if you want to send in a question to be answered right here on the show and get a copy of our workbook, you can email one to health@oldpodcast.com. Or if you want to hear your own voice on the podcast, just come by oldpodcast.com/ask. Right on that page, you can record straight from your computer's microphone. It's really easy, and you could even play back your message and do retakes before sending it in. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in your question. The number is 1-61-I-LOVE-OHD. That's 1-614-568-3643. Thank you again so much for doing that. Answering your questions is my favorite part of the show. But that'll do it for another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily. Thank you so much for listening every day and all the way through. I hope you have a great start to your weekend, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.